He's an actor, producer, and screenwriter, best known for his iconic films and TV roles in Steven Spielberg's Minority Report, Band of Brothers, and so many other projects, Yellowstone, Tulsa King. He's also a devout Catholic husband and father of 5. His latest film, which he co-wrote and co-produced with his wife, is The Last Rodeo from Angel Studios. It opens in theaters on Friday, May 23rd. Here to tell us about it, please welcome Neal McDonough to the show. Neal, thanks for taking the time. I know you're on set this week. I know you're doing Tulsa King with my pal Sly, so we're going to make this quick because I don't want to upset him. Let's talk about The Last Rodeo, Neal.
Well, if there's one thing I know about Sly, if it's talking about the great Catholic Church, he would tell me, take my time and enjoy the moment.
Okay, well, I'm going to hold him to that then. Let's talk about The Last Rodeo. You wrote this script, and in the movie, you play this down and out rodeo star who really makes a major decision to return to the sport. Tell me where this story came from, Neal.
Well, it's funny. When I'm not around Reve and the kids, I was doing a film called The Warrant, Breaker's Law, and we're filming in Arizona that Reve and I were producing the film, but she was home with the kids. And whenever I'm away from Reve, I just get melancholy and sad, and I don't like being on location. I just don't. I consider it kind of a prison sentence. But this one day in particular, I was driving home and I got gut punched with this thought that what would ever happen to me if something happened to Reve? And I pulled over to the side of the road, just kind of buckled, and then this other thought entered my head that I know was a gift from him. And it was, write a movie about Rocky on a bull where you have to go save your grandson because he's dying from the same brain tumor that your wife died from. I don't know where that came from. And I told Reve, I called her, I said, I got this great idea. And she said, well, voice dictate it into your phone, which is how I usually start my scripts.
Yeah. And
I sat there on the side of the 10 freeway for 2 hours while semis were ripping by me, voice dictating and crying and laughing the outline of The Last Rodeo. And then a week later, my writing partner and I wrote the first draft. And then a week later, Reve in particular, found the financing, and Angel jumped on board. And 2 years almost to the date, here we are. And I'm so blessed and fortunate because of it.
Incredible. And I saw shadows, and maybe I'm reading too much into this, but I saw shadows of your own journey in this story. I mean, in 2010, some of our viewers will know, you were fired from a show, Scoundrels, mainly because you didn't want to do love scenes on camera with someone other than your spouse, which, is normally a commendable thing, but not in Hollywood. After that, you didn't work for a few years. Tell me what happened.
Oh boy, that was, I've had a lot of people die on me in my life, and I've had lots of horrible things, as we all have. But that may have been the toughest moment of my life, because for 2 years I didn't work, I didn't have any money, and we lost our house, we lost our cars, we lost everything. So it was really hard. And then I remember one day when things got so bad, and I was drinking tons of alcohol, and I was trying to drown it and trying to just hide it from everyone. Certainly wasn't hiding it from Reve. And one day I said, Lord, why have you forgotten all about me? And as soon as that came out of my mouth, Raymond, and we talked about it before, I fell to the ground in tears, realizing I was making this whole journey about my pain instead of what was happening to Reve and the kids and everyone else around me. And from that second forward, I just changed, and I stopped drinking alcohol and started going to church daily, and really started to rev my engine back up and get closer to him. And 10 years later now, whatever it is, Reve and I are about to start our 11th production together.
Wow.
All of our films give glory to him. And we're so blessed and fortunate that sometimes you need to go through a crucifixion to realize what the glory is all about. And I went through mine, and I don't wish it to anybody else, but it's good to be called out and see what you're really made of at times. And so the story with Joe Wainwright in this film is semi-autobiographical with my life and the pain that I went through when he lost his wife, and how he got through it and how he failed getting through it. And then finally he was called out, and what is he going to do to protect his family and provide for his family? And that's what the movie's really about. Yes, there's bull riding, and the bull riding sequences are just incredible, unbelievable. And John Avnet, the amazing director, pulled out all the tricks. PBR backed us 100%. They gave us their riders, got to use their real names, gave us the bulls. kitted out the arena to make you feel like you were actually at a PBR event in the movie. And
Well,
I'm so
and you, Neal,
proud
we
of
should
this
tell
movie.
people, you do a lot of these stunts in the movie. And tell us how you prepared for this. I know you were, there's a mechanical bull not far from your house, and you were a frequent visitor
That's
for
right.
a while.
Yeah, I haven't been to a nightclub in I can't tell you how many years, ever since I gave up alcohol. But there was a nightclub right around the corner from my house where I trained so often for months and months and months beforehand. But Buddy Joe Hooker, our stunt coordinator, I've been riding horses since I was a little boy, but he had me riding horses all the time, just getting in the saddle, getting to work, doing the things. Because what we didn't want to do is have any authentic, true bull rider think, meh. So we worked hard to make sure there was none of that. So Kyle Sherwood, a champion himself in the PBR, coached me daily, and I worked so hard to make sure that we were doing it right. And bumps and bruises, and separated shoulder, and cranked up some ribs, and a few things along the way. It was worth every bit of it because I knew something important was happening. I knew that we were making a film that was going to give glory to God, and for that, beat the heck out of me. I'm fine.
Yeah,
I knew we were doing something.
I was hurting watching you, pal. I'm watching this movie going,
when
my God.
When I got launched off that one time and I landed on the ground, John thought that I died. Abner was like, "Oh my gosh, what just happened?" But it was worth it. It was it's an incredible film, and I get to finally do what I've never done in a movie before. I get to be the hero and kiss the girl in the end, and that girl that I kissed the end is none other than my wife, Reve. So
yeah, well, I love you. You ruined one of my questions. That was my full circle moment.
Sorry,
I love
Ray,
that.
sorry.
No. I love that you finally get to kiss the girl in the end. And it ends up being the wife that you really gave up a piece of your career for some years ago, which I thought was so beautiful seeing that moment.
I wouldn't say that I gave up a piece of my career. I think that the choices you make define what kind of man you are, and the choices that I make were just the choices that fit for me. Some other guys can do certain things and whatever. I don't judge. Look, we all make mistakes. We're all sinners. None of us are perfect. There's only one who is perfect. So to try to emulate, to be as close to Jesus as you can, to be the man that you can be, and try to always do the right things is what we should always strive for.
Well, Neal,
and that's what we did in this film, and I'm just blessed to be part of all of this.
Yeah, it's a beautiful film and emotionally gripping. It's there's action. I mean, you've had an incredible career, we should say, from Captain America to the Band of Brothers to, of course, Tulsa King and Yellowstone. Years ago, though, you may have forgotten this, Neal, I produced a Truth and Life audio Bible, and we cast you as Jesus. But for whatever reason, these casting directors keep offering you villain roles. Why do you think that is?
Well, I won't kiss another woman on screen. So that leaves two things, Raymond. I can either be the villain, or I can be a soldier in the middle of a war with no women around. So I'm always searching for those things. But thank goodness for Angel Studios and taking a shot on me with, The Shifted very well.
Yeah, that's right.
And then Homestead started seeing me going into the good guy range, and then they had faith in me for this, and investors all had faith in me because they knew who I really was and what I was striving for. And to finally get to play the hero is something that I've always wanted. I always wanted to be John Wayne in the Cowboys. I always wanted to be those types of guys, and I finally get to play that character who's really as close to me as possible.
Yeah.
But back to the audio tape of playing Jesus.
Yeah.
That was my first job back after everything had happened.
Wow.
And I can't tell
I didn't
you
know that.
what an amazing gift that was, because it was without question the hardest thing I've ever done. For months and months and months, we'd be in the booth, and I remember the person who was running the director on the show, every once in a while we'd just stop because we felt it, and we knew that Jesus was in the room when we were doing it. It was just so emotional. And the carpet that I stood on for those 3 or 4 months when I was doing it, I had that carpet at home, and I step on it all the time to kind of ground myself and make me realize, okay, what is my job? My job is to work for him, and I'm going to do the best that I can to make sure that my boss is happy with everything that I do in every aspect of life, as a dad, as a husband, and as a movie and TV star. So well, movies and TVs are distant third place between God, family, and then this work.
Well,
and country too.
Your work on that audio Bible, I have to say, I may put a link up for it just so people can hear it. Your performance there is so beautiful. understated, powerful at moments, but deeply felt. We were all blown away. I remember when I first heard it, and I thought, oh my gosh, you know, it was just incredible.
And then they have the Pope bless it and say,
Right.
you know, we can use this as a tool to spread Catholicism throughout the world. I was like,
yeah, Pope
are you
Benedict.
kidding me?
Yeah.
It was just, yeah, it was just,
It was special.
It was one of my favorite things I've ever done.
I love that. Well, The Last Rodeo is also, it fits you like a glove. It hits theaters on May 23rd, Memorial Day, co-produced by you and your wife. You play, as you mentioned, Joe Wainwright, who's an aging champion bull rider who's been widowed, and he's facing a whole new set of family crises. Here's a taste of The Last Rodeo.
Cody needs surgery. I can't afford it. I have no money.
How you feeling?
I told you I've got this.
I want to ride like the wind for my grandson.
Can't stop me now. Not getting hurt. Lace on my crown. Take my victory.
I can't keep blaming you. I just gotta let go and move forward.
Joe Wainwright, three-time world champ, rides again for Cody.
That's a genuine, true legend right there.
Focus.
It's not my first rodeo, Pops.
Is this what, your 10th project working with your wife? Was this movie the 10th?
Yep. It's, you know, we started with a $350,000 budget on a movie called Redstone, and then we did part 2 of that called Boone, and that was 1.5, and Reve raised the money for that. And then we did The Warrant, and The Warrant Part 2, and The Greater was our first one. And then we started doing films with Angel, and you've done a couple of other films in between. But when it's an Angel film, and it's the McDonough Company alongside Angel, you know it's going to be a film that makes you think about, how can I be a better person? What can I do as a man or a woman to get closer to him? And I love being able to play in that arena, and that's what I've always aspired to do. That's the opportunity that we have now, and we're going to keep doing it until my last breath, because I love being in the position to be able to tell stories that not just some people can go to, but the whole family can go to. And you don't have to be Catholic or Christian. You can be Jewish and agnostic, Buddhist and Muslim. It doesn't matter. Their morality plays. And at the end, someone has to go through a very difficult time and get through it with faith. And those are the motifs that we really love playing with. And gosh, we're so blessed to have The Last Rodeo coming out this weekend.
Yeah, well,
but
it's a beautiful
as I've said,
movie. Go ahead.
Anyone out there who loves these types of films where you can bring the whole family and not worrying about covering eyes and ears and wondering if kids are going to be okay or if grandparents are going to be okay. This is a film where everyone can go see the film. Everyone can be entertained by the amazing bull riding, but everyone's going to feel the emotion of the film because it's truly about a fractured family. What happens when you have a fractured relationship with your daughter? My wife has passed away. I have a grandson now. He's sick. But what am I prepared to do to provide for this family? And every single mom and dad goes through that. So this is a family film. It's got edge to it. It's got action to it. It's got all those things you want in a really great movie. But it has that faith backdrop that I'm so proud of.
Yeah, no, it's a wild ride, and it has real meaning. I mean, you come away full after seeing this movie. What do you want people to take from this movie?
Exactly what you said. I want them to be full of life when they leave the theater. We've shown it now to several different places, and I've been in movies where as soon as the credits start to roll, people start to leave.
Yeah.
The Last Rodeo, not a single person moves out of their seats because they're so emotionally struck, and it just, whenever I think about it, I get choked up because that God has chosen Reve and I to make movies that give glory to Him. What more could you ask for as a human being who's a faithful guy?
Well,
I can't think of anything more.
Neal, I've been a longtime fan of your work, but I am equally a fan of the way you've conducted yourself as an actor and as a Catholic actor. And I think, and I hope, all of the viewers and listeners of this show will go see The Last Rodeo. It's an incredible movie, and the entire family can go see it, and you'll come away with something so much more than I think is being offered to us, at the Cineplex and on the streamers. The Last Rodeo, starring Neal McDonough, hits theaters Friday, May 23rd. Visit angel.com/Last Rodeo. They have the theater times, showtimes, tickets in your area. Neal, thank you for being here. We'll catch up with you again soon, I hope.
Oh, bless you, Raymond. Thank you. And everyone, if you love these types of films, you got to support it and tell Hollywood, enough with the darker stuff. Let's go make films again that the whole family can go and enjoy together. So buy one ticket, buy 10 tickets, buy a whole theater if you can. Whatever you've got, support this film, and it'll cause so much in Hollywood that they'll have to realize, okay, these films do make money, they're commercially successful, and they're really good at the same time. So thank you, Raymond.
And if you've seen what this poor man went through to bring you this movie, just physically, it's worth the price of admission, I promise. Neal, thank you for being here. We'll talk to you soon.
You're awesome, Raymond. Thank you.
Thank
God
you.
bless you. Thank you.